Hi, welcome to the video. Before I start, I just wanted to say I wasn't actually going to make a video of this build because this model is so easy and simple to build. It was bordering on the boring. Anyway, as you can see, I've opened the box and I've got a few extra bits and pieces which I bought separate online. I imported them from Australia. I'll put a link in the description. Now the kit does not come with decals or decals. It comes with these stickers, which I was very disappointed with. I've had this kit for quite a while, or one of them, and I couldn't actually get a set of decals to use in the build. So I put this kit under the bench for several months and then pulled it out again a few days ago. So these stickers are going straight in the bin. Not going to use them. So these extra bits I've bought, it's a set of decals, and it comes with a 3D printed nose probe and pilot. And I didn't use the pilot in this build. To be honest, he looks a little bit out of scale. He looks very small, very slight. The nose probe is hidden behind all this framing, which is 3D printed, so it helps protect it. The decals, they're from a company called Tory Factory, and they come with a canopy mask, which was quite handy. But these will later show up a little bit of a problem with the decals. On the face of it, they look pretty good, but there was a little bit of a problem. Another item that come with the extras was the paint mask. Now, I'm not used to using paint masks. I either use a camouflage putty or just do the camouflage freehand, depending on the model. The kit comes with a very large stand, which I'm not going to use. I never use stands. And just glancing over all the parts on the sprues, I didn't see any flash to speak of, but what I did see was some quite heavy panel lines, which didn't look particularly nice. On the other set of sprues, it was much the same thing, quite heavy panel lines on the underneath of the body. Now what I'm displaying here is the ease of which all these parts can be removed from the sprues. I didn't need to use my modelling pliers or a knife. There's so little plastic holding the parts in place that you could just twist them and break them off. And there's so little cleanup on each of the parts. The fitment of everything going together was excellent, actually. It was so good, it was almost boring, and it didn't take long to get most of the internal structures together and ready to be fitted. This is essentially a snap together kit where glue or cement is not really needed to put the model together, but I did use it. Underneath the fuselage, I filled in the holes for the stand, and right on the corner of the intakes, this is about the only part where I had to do a little bit of work because I couldn't get the both panels to level out together. So I put a little bit of super glue there just to hold things in position. Now at this point I'm not sure whether it's going to be a tail sitter. I had the impression it was not. But I added some lead weight to the front anyway, and this is probably way too much. But it's better to have too much than not enough, because a tail dragger or tail setter is kind of a pet hate of mine. So I'm going to put the fuselage halves together here, and I don't normally use this standard Tamiya cement. I normally use the extra thin, but to give me a bit more time to cement up quite a few points inside the fuselage so the glue doesn't go off and dry, I use the thicker standard Tamiya cement. As you can see, I also run it around the edges of the wings. I did this on both halves of the body. Now, considering the complexity of the two body halves, it went together exceptionally well. The only part that I was a bit worried about was this nose section, so I applied a little bit of extra thin Tamiya cement in this area on both sides, just to make sure there was a good join and it wasn't going to come apart. Now, one area I didn't particularly like was the join of the bottom fuselage half to the top. There was a kind of ridge or a lip there, which when I looked at photographs online, there wasn't such an area. It was a smooth transition from the bottom half to the top. So I basically filled this little ridge, smoothed it out with a bit of super glue, and then sanded the super glue so give a nice flow from the bottom half to the top, and it worked out quite well. The rest of the parts were fitted: ailerons, flaps, leading edge, slats, everything fitted together exceptionally well. One thing this kit does not have is cockpit decals, but it does have raised detail on some of the panels, so I just lightly brushed some white paint to highlight these. Now that I've sanded the super glue, which I put on earlier, the transition from the top to the bottom of the fuselage is a lot smoother, and there's no more lip there. And I've also sanded down the filler covering the stand holes. So I moved on to paint here. Now, one thing I did notice that with the standard instructions that come with the kit, there's no actual paint codes like Humbrol or Revell or Tamiya. So that's just left to whatever you come up with. Now initially I painted it grey without thinking about the camouflage pattern, which here you see it's a blue grey, but it was actually quite a bit darker. What you see here is the model. I've actually oversprayed the blue grey because it was too dark. Now onto those decals I mentioned earlier. They went on quite well. They're quite thin, and initially they look pretty good, but when you look closely, they're actually out of registration. You can see little white lines. Now this is a problem. You can't quite see it on this wing decal because of the reflection from the light, but it's there. One thing I did notice was the lack of extra detail. I saw this excellent picture online with a full plan view looking down at the top, and these black areas were quite prominent on the real aircraft, so I decided to hand paint them in. One feature I particularly liked about building this model was the way the wheels and the wheel hubs went together. Now I know it's a slot together model, but if every manufacturer made their wheels like this, you wouldn't get paint running over onto the tyres, or the black tyre paint running over to the wheels, because I think this is a far better way of making wheels for model kits. Now I'm applying a little bit of wash here because there are several areas where there are grills for cooling or extra air. There's a couple on the top and a few underneath, very small ones underneath, and this is the only area I applied a wash. Now here, given the way the kit goes together with its snap together design, I've actually built the bombs and painted them before actually fitting them. So I'm just snipping off the edges of these pylons so I can fit the bombs in the normal way, the way you would on a non-snap together kit. To be honest, I'm struggling to find things to do and talk about because this kit was so easy to build. So here's the finished model. I think it looks quite nice. Here it is with another one I built a few weeks ago, and as you can tell, I've bought two of them now, so I do like this kit. I think it's a very, very good kit, albeit a bit unorthodox in its construction. Anyway, I hope you like the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see some more.